Yo, yo, yo. Chat, I am ready for today. What's good? What's up, y'all? You like what you see, don't ya? What we doing? What we saying? Guys, so many things this week have just come together so nicely for today's stream. Like last week compared to this week, just so much has come together, which is sick. And I'm just in really, I've got this like energy about me. I don't know if it's the Red Bull I had earlier or what, but I'm buzzing. I'm very excited. Lots of good stuff happened this week. Lots of good stuff. We've got the merch. So this is the white hoodie with the black print. And I have the black one. I'll probably wear it another time, but it's sick just to have it in my presence. Have it on my body. So yeah, I am buzzing with it. And it looks sick. You got the eye of the tiger. I just got focus, ready to have a scrap. So yeah, and of course, we can't forget everything that happened last week and what an amazing week it was from last week. So just to summarize Luna's comment there, so thank you on congratulations on the new camera. So what happened was straight after the stream, I was a bit in like two minds about it, whether or not to put it on like socials or anything, but I didn't. I said it on Patreon and I said it everywhere else as well in the end. I didn't want everybody's like unbelievable sort of donations to go to waste. We had to get to the goal. We had to nail it. So what we did is I put it up on my socials in the end, and so many unbelievable donations came through, and it was incredible. Like just the amount of generosity, the kindness of everyone. We reached about the 500 mark, and then like it was like Friday then, and then the sale on the camera had gone, and I was like, geez, a bit unfortunate. And then it came back on Saturday evening, and I just snapped it up. I just like worked it out somehow. We've got it sorted, and it's here. And I've managed to also nab the lens that I wanted for the camera. So on stream right now, you'll see it in a second. The benefit of right now is it's color accurate 100%. The annoyance at the minute is because it's only over a USB-C cable, which you can just about not see out of the frame into my computer. It's only 720p on that feed at the minute. So there's a couple of extra accessories. It's not fully sort of baked into the stream yet. There's a few more accessories I've got to get to boost it up to, we can get 4K out of it. So the top down shots will be crispy. So this one over here that you're looking at my mug with is still one of the older devices I had. But the top down now is switched. So this is only 720p, but yeah, we're good to go on color accuracy, which is sick. It was really bugging me how like in the streams the colors just looked so off to what I'm seeing here. The lens came today, so I've already had a quick test with it, what it will look like for tutorials, and it looks great. It looks really good. So I am ecstatic with how it looks, and it's gonna be sick for other stuff. So let me catch up on everybody's messages. Rob says, hi, Ojoldo, how cool is that hoodie? It is sick. I'm so happy with how it came out. The white one's really cool. It's so soft on the inside as well. Like, this is what I was saying last week, is I didn't pick the cheapest hoodie that they have available. I think it's even the best hoodie that they have on the website. And so that when you get it, it feels like something, it doesn't feel like someone's like naff cheapy merch. It feels like something really nice and premium, which I really like. I like how soft it is on the inside. It feels awesome. Lindsay says, what's the softness of the hoodie? Saying Joe, oh, it's so soft. I ain't even got a t-shirt on, and this softness of this hoodie is just caressing my body. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Machine washable, I have no idea. I leave that to Mrs. Create, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. So yeah, we're cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas, everyone. All right, should we do some drawing? Today I have this idea in mind for a really misty scene on a lake. So we're going to crack on with that. So this is somewhat related to a tutorial that you're going to see next month on Patreon. End of the month, tutorial 68, I believe. So yeah, it's going to be kind of loosely based around that. So my idea is, as a concept, is going to be like a little lake house here with like I don't know what you would call it. It's not a pier as such, is it? Well, it's like, you know, like a personal sort of where you would board your jet skis or your boat or something, your own sort of pier out into the lake, I guess. Red Mystica says, I got my hoodie shipped today. I can't wait. Make sure to take a photo in it, for sure. So yeah, we're going to roll with that. So I'm going to grab the perspective tool, because this is actually really interesting that you guys mentioned about this recently, of like how to use this stuff. So I'm going to make sure to use it a little bit more. So I'm using the perspective dot. You drag this around and it gives you the perspective lines. So if we zoom in on that a little bit, I'll increase the thickness of the line so you can really see where that positioning is. So something maybe like a little bit like this, if not slightly further. No, let's go to there actually and hit done. So that's your vanishing point, and then you've got all of these lines running into that vanishing point. So that's awesome. A jetty? Yeah, is that the right word? I think that's about the right word. Is it time change next week? Is it switching to British summertime, is it? I already had a sketch ready for this, which, to be honest, I'll probably reuse. I might have to just reposition it and scale it a little bit more. So I'm trying to, if we take a look at the sketch, I was just sort of mucking around before I came on the stream. We have the jetty here, and it follows these sort of guidelines along here. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll use it as a guide, and I'll do it again, and I'll draw that in. So I'm going to go into my vanishing point, draw sort of outwards from there, and then create my little wood area here with some big nice columns on this end up to here, using that perspective guide there. So can you see that with the lines? We're following this line down here, we create a detour across, and then we draw in the uprights for the rest of the posts, and then I can pick how many posts we go along and how tall they are. So maybe these ones are a little bit shorter as we make our way further back. And then we just need to create them a little bit adjacent from one another. A little something like that. We'll keep it rough. We'll keep it rough for a minute. And then I want that to lead into like a lake house of some sort. So keep it real simple really on this one. Is that my iPad changing? Just a basic shape. So this idea, I think, has a lot of resemblance to the cabin in the woods design, where I think we can draw something a little bit like that. Now, you could argue that that needs to move, so it follows the perspective line, but I don't want to move the whole design too far left, so I'm just going to roll with it. That'll be my guide. We'll have like a shoreline underneath here. Makes its way off underneath, and it's going to be really, really misty, so it's going to be something that we don't have to spend too much time and detail on. And again, you'll see this in a tutorial that comes later on in next month. So I'm going to turn off my perspective guide for a minute, and that is going to be my little guide for today's design. Sunday, is it? Oh, okay, cool. It is looking a lot more crispy. I literally only got the lens probably about by the time I actually managed to get hold of it, and probably about 3 hours ago. So I've not really had time to tinker with it quite so much. But yeah. So catching. Let's see what we're saying. Oof. How are you fixed for end of April, start of May? What do you mean? Critty says, can we do this with pastel paints, please? This particular one won't be. These streams are always just me drawing as a practice for tutorials that will probably come up. So the brushes may change, but I already know what brushes I'm going to use. So not on this occasion, no. Okay, so let's probably draw in the main focal points first and work off of that. What did I do the other one with? So I've got to always remember like each tutorial's like what brush set they were, and at the minute I've started to like lose which ones inking and the dry ink. This brush right now I'm obsessed with it. Let's actually just 2 seconds. Let's change. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, I got you, Lindsay. Got you. Lindsay is bringing me 2 hoodies and a night sweater for a holiday in Cape Town. Oh, that's sick. Are you actually doing that? That's sick. If you guys got a photo with your gear on, your merch, that'd be so cool. Alright, let's lower this down and let's crack on. So I want to go with this colour, I think, to start with. Yeah. Reduce that down. Let's get these columns in here, which I might come back to. So as you know, lately I've been trying to just roll with this really loose painting style. I love it. I think it's really free and we don't have to stress too much over like some of our work. So it's something I've really sort of carried on all the way into a lot of my upcoming tutorials. People really liked the sort of look of the what was it? It was the cherry blossom one. So I've carried it on. I love it. So Red Mystica pledged a whole year of a super supporter, a supporter over on Patreon. Red Mystica, welcome to the family. Enjoy the tutorials and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and the content over there on Patreon. Lots of tutorials nowadays. It's so nice having like a full catalogue of things that is just slowly built up over time. A whole year as well. That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining the family. That looks a little bit off to me. Why does that look like that? Is it the sketch on top? Oh, it is the sketch. Okay, cool. That angle looks a little bit wrong to me. Let's turn them off a second and let's get that perspective grid back in. I think that needs to be shaved off a little bit. I think that there is the wrong angle. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. Cool. More perspective drawings fascinate me. So this one is a good example because it's like it doesn't have too much perspective. The only thing we use the perspective for is just to nail down like one thing, and that's the jetty that we were talking about. So I find that kind of an interesting idea because it's not like we need to use it for the whole design, and I think some people get like lost in the fact that you need to use it for the whole thing, but you don't. You don't need to do that at all. I'm gonna create a bit of like an overhang here on the roof. Let that just stray backwards. Yeah, see, this perspective also looks a little bit off. I'm not too fussed. It's just a practice design. I can sort it out later on. Although you guys know me, we'll probably get about 2 hours in, and I'll go, nah, scrap it. We'll start again. Oh, it's because I keep leaning my hand over the sensor at the bottom. That's what it is. That's why it keeps going occasionally a little bit dark. Marie says, I'm 1 year, 3 months, and 5 days a member. Crazy sauce. That is awesome. I was literally just thinking this the other day that we hadn't seen you for a couple of weeks, Marie. It's good to see you back in the chat. Red Mystica says, of course, Joel, sorry, I was so slow. I had to get a hoodie first. Listen, your support has been wonderful the last few weeks, etc. So I appreciate you joining, buying the merch, everything else in between. Okay, so that's that in place. We'll create another new layer. We'll probably just chuck in some ground of sort down here. I want to just let that run underneath. I don't know where my light source is. I think it's just going to be above. We'll let this sort of trickle out over onto the left. So what I'm imagining is we've got this like bit of land here that runs into the lake underneath, which is going to look quite pretty, really. And then in the back, that reminded me of Love Actually for a second there. I look quite pretty, don't I, really? And if you've not seen Love Actually, and it's not the best film you've ever seen, get out, don't come back, we're done. We watch it every Christmas. Okay, let's get that in. Okay, now what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crack on and just draw in on top of this stuff straight away and work it out as we go. So I'm going to do some clipping masks that I'm not really doing recently, but in a tutorial, in a design like this where I'm sort of practicing, it's worth just making the clipping masks so I can remember what the colours were that I used. There we go. So we'll box in that side or the roof even. We'll create some little objects at the front, although I don't want this to be too detailed. We've got to be careful. It's Love Actually, Robs. Classic. So the only problem with how I mocked this whole setup is like it's a bit far away from me. Okay, let's get some sketching in here and draw in the building. So yeah, a mad week. a crazy week, but so exciting. Everything's been so a bit non-stop really with it, which has been great. So what I've done there is I just drew in a little grid line to kind of show my maybe like bottom floor, top floor, and then I can use that as a guide to then go in and paint in the windows. I could just use the rectangle tool and be a bit boring, add them in an easier fashion, so I'll do exactly that. Be nice and boring. And Red Mystica became a YouTube member as well. Enjoy your little membership. Your little light is so bright. Enjoy your little loyalty badge on the side of your name. That changes over time. So your first month is the color that you've got now. I think it then moves into the red one, I believe, and then it moves into the green one, bronze, then silver like Marie, and then gold. And then there's also like one that's like a 2-year one. It's quite a way away at the minute for a lot of people, but if you're a member for a while, you will get that beautiful benefit later on. Some big windows down here. Should we add in? That'll do. We don't want to go too mad. And then we'll add a little bit of distortion to this just to add in a bit of perspective. There we go. So just a little bit just to make it look like it definitely fits the surface. I'm thinking just like 2 doors there at the front, obviously, not just one massive one. I don't know what the aesthetic of this is going to look like. I think I had a reference image on here from something else, like another cabin. Yeah, we could do something like that, like vertical wood. Okay, cool. Let's do that. I want this whole scene to be really dark, like really moody. And you'll see it come together towards the end, really, where we start to... Oh, hang on, don't we have a wood brush? You'll see like the mist in the background and stuff. So you'll probably see at some point, I'm probably not giving certain areas quite enough attention, but it's because we don't need to give it quite that much attention later on with the mist. Again, it really does take away quite a lot of the work you've done. Wooden, creepy, and run down would be the vibe for that jar. That's actually a really good call, because then we could make it like it would fit the whole aesthetic, wouldn't it, quite a bit. I'm looking, I believe there was a wood texture. It's probably in textures. Yeah, there we go. I think we might be able to use this, and I don't use this, so this will be interesting to see what this looks like. Oh, they're quite big. Okay, so we can go into the brush at any time. We can go to properties. No. We want the grain, I believe. Grain. We'll scale the grain down nice and small, but not that small. That's actually quite good. 8%, and then that will give us more vertical lines on the outside edge of the cabin. That's cool. If we chuck that underneath our window frames, can you see that texture in there? Yeah, so you can see like the wood sort of cladding on the outside. Bit of a cheat code really, but we can do that. I'm going to do another one and then adjust the lines and the angle. I'm going to make this one a little bit wider and then distort it to match the perspective of the side of the shack, the hut. What are we referring to this as? Lake hut, lake house. I don't know if I want to call it a lake house, although it does look fairly large, so maybe it is. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Right, let's just try and freehand some lighting and stuff onto here now. So those windows probably want to be quite dark. Yeah, we want them to be fairly dark because all we want to see, we can't see into the building as such, but we can, wrong color, we can add in some details on here, like a little window ledge here around the frame. Maybe because of the perspective we can't see the right hand side, so we leave that. I think maybe we just create a very simple window frame. Varying up my pressure, and like occasionally by doing so you kind of leave certain lines that just get really like transparent, like there's not a lot of like pressure there, but just a little something. That was a good shout from Rob's, about to run down creepy. Yeah, we could add like really sort of, we could add like a potentially like a broken boat or something on the side, although boats themselves aren't the easiest thing to draw, so they've got a certain, obviously certain features we have to sort of nail down in order for that to look okay. I'm going to draw the line down the middle first, just so that that is perfectly in place. Oh, do I prefer a 4 window or an 8? I'm going to go with, let's do the top one, see what that looks like first. A little ledge here. I want this to also have that kind of like scratchy look to it in terms of the aesthetic. I don't want it to be like super precise. I want it to have that kind of roughness to it. Looking at that, I think we go for an 8. Leotita? Leotita? That's 100% right, yeah? I definitely nailed that. Leotita, if you're here in the chat, thank you so much for becoming a supporter over on Patreon. Enjoy the tutorials. And of course, welcome to the family. Or something like that, maybe, for this frame. You can see like inside of some of the frame, but not like the right edge. Maybe a little bit of the lighting coming that way, potentially. Boathouse, I like boathouse. Ah, oh, boathouse would have been sick if we hadn't have done it. We could have had like the massive opening on the front of it instead. Oh. That would be very cool. Okay, for now, we will leave it as it is. I'm not going to change the concept now, but that's a very good idea. I like that. I like that a lot. A little bit of a path, like across the ground. Again, kind of keeping it nice and loose, just kind of using the dry ink to try and meet that little part of the jetty. There, little path outside the house. Maybe the path runs round the side, over to the side, like maybe where a car is normally parked. So that's like the walking path that goes round onto the side. We'll get to adding in a lot of details in a sec. For the minute, it's going to have that really grey theme, very dark. Let's go up to the roof. Is that is that color? So we need to roll with a slightly lighter color, creating some like, what does that reference photo show? The roof stars. That's like cladding. Okay, cool. We could do like a cladding roof instead. We did the log lines last time for the cabin in the woods design. So yeah, I think that would be quite nice to change that up a little bit. Again, your lines don't always have to be like 100% opacity. They can be nicely worn out. One thing I need to keep reminding myself is this really doesn't need to have that much detail to it. It really will get sort of quite misty down here in a sec, so we will lose quite a lot of those details. And then I think we could do something a bit naughty. If we duplicate that layer, alpha lock it, and then change the color to a darker variation, fill it, and we just literally nudge that down a few pixels, we'll create an underside of all that cladding on the top there. And I think if I actually select that and remove it from that, wait, select, oh, wait, select this, turn off color fill, and then remove it from this one. Nice. And then this one here, if we get in with that lighter tone again, that's okay, that's fine. If we grab the darker tone, maybe we can run some lines. I will be back with you, chat, in just a second. See what we can do here. Those lines seem extremely harsh, but if I run them all the way across, I'm not sure. Robs, you just drew a house in like 5 minutes. Crazy, that would take me at least 6 hours. No, you've got it, trust me. Robs, if you check out the Cabin in the Woods tutorial over on Patreon, that one will give you some help with that type of idea. Oh, my back, right. Okay, let's try and get into some very loose shadows and highlights, I think. So I'm going to get into with the darker tone here. The lighting's coming from above. I'm going to get in with this brush here. I think it was the old, no it wasn't. Was it this one? Oh, wasn't it under? No, it wasn't. Let's roll with the Tam. No, not Tam. Oh man, come on. Spectra. Let's roll with this one. Let's try and, yeah, cool. Okay, we want that painting look to it, so we're gonna shadow up underneath the roof. Really darken that up. The lighting's coming from above, so we can darken up underneath these areas here. We can darken up underneath the windowsills as well. That was very British. Your windowsills. Maybe not on that layer though, Joel. Let's go to our layers. Let's create a new layer there and do it there. So darken up underneath there, blending that out, darkening that up quite a bit. Can you see that? You should be able to. It's quite a dark design, obviously, so just bear with me if everything's looking a bit very muted at the minute. Darken up underneath this side and darken up that side of the house in general. I think we can get rid of quite a bit of that. I think then we can also darken up underneath here. We'll darken up underneath here and darken up underneath here too. Apologies, I keep leaning over the sensor, which is just there. Really, a lot of the time I should switch this around. I'll do it. I'll switch this around just for stream. Yeah. The only reason I don't have it this way normally is because it means that the charging, it means that the hole in the sketchboard is on the opposite, is on this side, and I feel like as a right-handed person, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I want the hole there in my way? Ugh. Right, flick up. There we go. That makes a bit more sense. Are we good? Yeah, good. Sorry, guys. Things are happening, and I'm ignoring all of you, and I'm sorry. My bad. I was getting lost in a little dingy house. Right, let's have a look. The shadow of the person in the window is pretty cool, guys. You lot are like, you guys have got a few issues. Boathouse, make it dark and creepy, sort of that. Trust the process. You go damn right. Red says, I like this family better than my own family, and lol, I promise I'd not hide behind furniture if you guys knocked at the door. Oh jeez. It is a lovely community, you're absolutely right. Rob says, just me and the hubby son's moved out, but I do enjoy these Wednesday evenings. It's awesome that you guys schedule this into your own weeks. Come and hang out with me. Rob says, I celebrated my 29th anniversary on Monday. After all these years, I need these Wednesday nights. Congratulations. 30's just around the corner, that's awesome. Did I spy another? No, that's not a pencil. That's the Banks magnetic pencil. Yeah, I've got like, I always hide like bits and bobs underneath here that like don't need to be in the scene, but it's the Banks one. It's exactly the same as the Apple Pencil, but it's where's the focus point? There it is. It's exactly the same. It's awesome. It's very good. It just doesn't have pressure sensitivity, but it's also 30 quid. It magnetically charges on the side of the iPad. It's awesome. It's very good for about 30 to 40 pounds. It's very, very good. Okay. Let's darken up the ground around the house for a bit. I just need to add in like overshadows and stuff around the house, where like that top of the roof just hangs over, darkens up the ground around it. Let's also go to the roof itself, create another new layer. At this point I'm drawing for fun, but we will see what we can do about making this a T word. Oh, that's a bit brave. Look at this brush just overlapping on those slates on the roof just like adds so much like detail to it in a way that we don't have to do anything really to it. The back of the roof perspective is driving me nuts. It's well off. It's about here is the perspective. It's this layer here I've got to erase from. Better. Okay, I think we may come back to the house in a bit. I don't want to get too lost in those details. Let's go to the bridge. We'll add in some like streaks across here. The bridge, the do we say it was a jetty? So just some streaks all the way down, progressively getting like a bit more overlapped. Oh, that's actually a good question. Do you think another piece of merch, not that I want you guys to like keep just buying like, you know, never go and buy anything of your own, but another idea for a piece of merch is the lost in the details concept. I do have like an idea in mind for it, but I wanted to see what you guys thought, because it's one of those things where I say it quite a bit. It fits the brand as such. I think it would be a cool sort of second piece to go with. Maybe not in a hurry to like do it, but just like as an idea. Okay, so we've got some nice like wood. Can you see that on there? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy cheap, very cheap for that pencil, but it's very good. It's very good. I'm very surprised with it. Yeah, banks are really good as well. Actually, they sound. Oh, they sent me this. They sent me this, so you can see it from that angle. Let me show you on the full cam. So it magnetically connects your iPad onto here, and then just listen to this satisfying rotating sound. So it rotates from here. Ah. Oh, so satisfying. And then it tilts backwards, it rotates, it can rotate that way as well, so it can be horizontal. So it's really useful if you use your iPad for like a second display with your computer. It's very cool. Very cool. And it is on my desk back there, my working desk. And I connect my iPad to that, which is sick. Use it as a little second display. Crazy cheap. Marie, I settled on the Sony ZV-E10, and I just bought the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens. If you search any of that, it comes up. It's like a very common, YouTube tutorial where YouTube videos of like people saying that, oh, this is the perfect video for combination for vloggers and all that sort of stuff. But the kit lens it comes with wasn't strong enough, or it didn't let in enough light for this setup down here. So I had to get a second lens for it, and that came today. Which I was so excited for it to come today that I was like awake at like 3 o'clock, just woke up in the night like just buzzing for it. That's so sad, but I was so excited for it to come. Adding in some little bits of lighting on those poles. I think I'll leave it like that for a second. The ground I'm kind of happy with, but maybe we could add in some maybe different tones in there. Let's not alpha lock it. So we went with that one. Maybe we can go with this greener tone towards the shoreline. Chuck in some like different tones in the ground. I'm trying to lately as well be like really random with just chucking in colors here and there, like just like create random grooves of color. And because life is not like perfect, like anything that you see is just not perfect. There's lots of imperfections and bumps and lumps in the ground and stuff, and so you can just chuck some color like here, make the ground really uneven and just imperfect, I guess. Imperfect, non-perfect, whatever, you know what I mean. I'll darken up underneath the jetty where we'll get maybe a little top-down shadow, maybe. Darken that up a little bit under there. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to get in a little bit of the background before we carry on, and then we can work on like reflections and stuff. Color this one. Joel create V2 collection of brushes, and we'll roll with that. Sorry. Rob says, wait, what feature? I missed that, sorry. You'll have to ask that again, Robs. I forgot what that was referring to. Roro says, I'm guessing that the one that shows the cursor is in actions preference. Yes, it is. Ooh, what about that wood effect on the jetty? It could go on there, but I'm not too sure I like it that much. So maybe not. I think we'll get in here potentially in a minute, and on those wood panels add in some streaks to sort of identify it a little bit like this, but you don't want to sign yourself up to too much detail too quickly. I'm going to add in my stencil again, and I'm going to turn off the drawing guys because that's driving me nuts. Okay, let's use this brush. So I'm going to use the leatherwood here to create like a random scattering up and down here, which is like a tree line in behind, like a big hill of trees making their way down towards the lake. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is, can't remember off the top of my head what I did. Oh yeah, that's what we did. We went to Vintage, the Rad brush. This is a new brush that I've been really enjoying. Drawing a straight line and then just create zigzags left and right to create little trees. These ones back here, I want to sort of make them very, very few and far between as they just run down towards the lake. Up here we can get away with some like really nice big ones. The colors and stuff will start to match a little bit later on, but for now, this brush, I love this brush. You'll find it towards the end of the month on Patreon next month. But yeah, I stumbled across it. It's really good for this type of thing. The leatherwood that just went in a second ago gives us that kind of random rough top edge, and then we just go in here now and just sort of fill in the forest area. It's really easy to do and really simple. It's just lots of lines, then adding in a zigzag of color and making sure they get a bit heavier towards the bottom, and before you know it, you've created this big forest like not skyline as such, but horizon line. I don't really think it's a horizon line either. Okay, let's get back into here. I need to catch up with chat before I carry on. You need to remind yourself to do this. Yeah, so the minute this is 720p, so like in a couple of weeks when I get the rest of the gear for it, it will make it look quite, it will come out 4K later on. So for the minute, it's just 720p for a minute. So we'll get crispier. We'll get the gear that we need for it. So using the leatherwood, we can create all these random scatterings of color. We can then go ahead and create another new layer. Leatherwood, get the leatherwood in behind some of these trees just to give some variation of color. This is what I've started to learn probably in the last 6 months especially, is like finding a suite of brushes that does the work for you. It's like, it's obviously being a bit lazier in a way, but you don't need to spend meticulous amounts of time trying to just draw in a forest. Like, you can just do simple things such as this just to get it all in. Because again, in a minute, we're going to add the mist to it anyway, so it's just going to get destroyed. I'm going to be proper cheeky. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to flip it horizontally. I'm going to move it over to here, and I'm going to scale it down in size. And just like I did in the tutorial for the other one, I'll duplicate this. We'll move it down to there. Oh, hang on. What have I done there? God, I caught it in the corner of my eye. I thought, what's that in the corner of my eye? And as always, it is Troy coming in with the 10 gifted memberships. Guys, be sure to please be sure to please thank Troy in the chat if you do receive a free membership from the man himself. Let's scroll up. I love the super easy scribbly trees. Used to hate trees. Trees are easy now. Thank you, Pedreka. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm just awful with names. So if anyone needs to know how to print your work or print your work onto canvas, it looks amazing. That's awesome. Troy, my friend, thank you so much, as always, for looking after everyone. You're a king in these spaces. Let's move this across. So I'm being a bit naughty here. I'm just trying to sort of duplicate layers rather than just draw it again. Because that's what I want to do. I'll save some time. We'll grab those sets of trees though, we'll scale them down even further, we'll move them further back. I kind of want to show kind of maybe like the lake warping round a little bit. So like just it goes round this little piece of land here and in behind where we can't really see it. So the lake just drifts off round into the distance. Again, we've got the haze and stuff to add in, which if I actually go to my background color, let's change it. This is actually what the background color should look like. It's this really off gray. Really works very nicely for this misty effect. And then this is where it kind of comes to life. Let's go ahead and get that mist in. And all I did was just use the soft airbrush. You get a little bit of that color over the top of here. Really get rid of that top line of trees. They're so far back, but we want them to be barely visible, you know? Just a little bit visible back there. What's the time? Oh, it's not changed yet. And then likewise, we will go over to here. We'll add some. Yes, no, we won't clip it. Have to be a bit careful here. A bit of mist at the top level here that runs a little bit in towards down here. In that really beautiful bit of atmosphere. And then let's erase from the bottom of this one over here. Whoa. Something like that. Simple for a moment. We've got a bit more darkness to add at the front here, but just that misty effect is going to come into play now. Lovely. Love that. Yes, Troy, I did, which is this one here. It's the Sony. We got it. Oh, yeah, shit. Jesus Christ, sorry. Let me first actually touch on that while you're here, and likewise Tammy as well. So, as you saw last week, the second we sort of finished the stream, I was umming and ahhing what to do, whether or not to sort of make other people aware of what had happened and stuff. And I did not want your money to go to waste and not go to the camera. So we decided that we would go ahead and make it so that everyone was aware of it. And obviously, in the end, if you already saw my story, the total ended at 500, which is plenty. And so it was ordered. It actually went off sale and then went back on sale, and I was like, I'm not missing it. It has to be done. So here we are. So thank you so much for everything that you did last week, and here we are. We managed to get the camera. I was just saying earlier that I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just like eagerly anticipating waiting to get the camera. So I am more than happy. I love tech. So something like this just like gets my tech side of me just going. Oh, we could make this like super milky and give it like a really sort of streaky look to the water. I don't think it fits the rest of the design, but that's very cool. Maybe we'll roll with it for a moment, because I didn't actually anticipate doing the water as such, so I do need to think about adding in some sort of colour in this space. God, we got a busy day on the old alerts this week. Okay, that's looking nice. We've got that nice little shadow in place there. It does need to be made a little bit more like water, but we'll make it work. And likewise, I do want to add in a lot more detail to the house and over here as well, for sure. And we got the merch on today, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to grab your Trust the Process merch, links in the description down below. Rob says, oh, sorry, Rob's is off. Rob's, thank you so much for hanging out. It's good to see you. And obviously, we'll be able to have you for an extra hour next week. Murky water fits the scene. Annalie, that is all down to Troy, our gifted member king. Thank you, Mega Turtle. Let's crack on. So I'm not too sure what to do with some of this area down here. It kind of needs a lot more detail to it. The water I don't like either at the minute in terms of bringing that shoreline into the water, and also I feel like there needs to be like a few trees just right next to the house. So let's do exactly that. Let's go in with like it needs to be a little bit darker, so probably this tone here. We'll get the rad brush and maybe we'll create like a, it needs to be darker than that. Maybe if I go darker and then we can just go back in and adjust it in a sec. So like its own trees right next to the house. These ones will get a little bit of mist, but it's just a little bit of some sort of like, you know, greenery of some sort that's just like down here on the land, and bushes and trees. I'm not sure it needed it, but we'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. Get some greens in there. Just towards the top edges. What's up, Mayaki? Mayak? Oh, I think I mess that up every single time. Lindsay, Jesus Christ. Rory says, how do you already have a color palette? Do you have a quick draft before? Yeah, I don't do it on the fly. If I left these live streams till on the fly, it would be a nightmare. It would be a disaster. I think there was like some of the early streams, I maybe left it to like the last second to do something, and it's awful. It's just I want to sort of come into the stream ready to go, not thinking, geez, what the hell are we doing? Yeah, that's not the best idea. Just some bushes down here, getting with some slightly lighter tones on the top edge, because I'm always thinking like where the lighting's coming from. So if I can add some of these slightly brighter tones on top of the trees. I don't want it to be anything like super detailed. I just want to scribble it on, see where it lands, hope for the best. And I like that scribbly aesthetic. I'll show you some designs later on that I've done that I've actually not got any intention on using, but I don't know, maybe you guys will tell me otherwise. Let's then get in here with a dark tone, create some shadows, painting, spectra. Let's just roll with that. Add in a bit of shadow under here. I like that shadow there meeting the edge of the house. It looks very dark. Where's this color coming from? Is it this layer? Yeah, it is. That kind of ties the house a little bit closer together. Is it this one? Yeah. I'm just going to purposely darken up the back there. I don't really want too much going on there. I want to focus our attention a little bit closer to the front. If we made the land a shade or two darker, we could probably get away with like turning on some lights in the house. If we scale this down, that looks quite nice. Is it? A like inking layer, and then these are going to be like what I refer to recently as like my scratch details. So like a bright edge on there, a little bit of a brighter edge on the frame here will just like show where the lighting's coming from. So a little bit of a light scratch. This color could actually be a bit too bright, so maybe it needs to be an in between. Let's move this to about here. Few bits on the frame. The door looks a bit naff. Maybe we'll come back to the door. Cool. Let's follow the wood lines and add in some sort of streaks of the wood. I'm following that texture that's running all the way through. Not going into my shadows though, there's no point. We want those areas to stay dark. That definitely brings out the wood a little bit more. Maybe for these lines we will go a smidge darker. random little scrapes here and there, little scratches and scruffs in the building. It's going to look cool. I'll add some nice detail to it. Little random scrapes here and there. I've got 3 lights on me. I'm cooking here. Time to design t-shirts. You don't die of a heat stroke. Yeah, there are t-shirts available, FYI. Y'all want to go check them out. Yeah, let's switch back to that slightly brighter tone for the roof. Adding in like just dashes across the roof here will just show you like the odd little slate that's catching the light in some way from above. Just a little bit of detail on the top there. Just see, you can see how quick and easy that is. Just like dash, 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 dash. That's what I've been trying to do a lot of. Yo, relax, yo, Red Mystica. It's not even 9. Has it gone 9 o'clock? It's only just gone past 9 o'clock. Sheesh. You gotta tune in way later than that for that kind of stuff. That's a joke. That's a joke. We talk about OnlyFans again. You guys need to relax. What if I tilt the brush on its side and try and add in some like, whoa, too bright. The areas of lighting around here. That's looking much nicer. Those doors look absolutely crap. Let's carry on though with that nice brighter tone and add in some much more defined like kind of scratches and streaks in the wood. Little zigzags there, that's lovely. Could we get into some of these trees? Yeah, add in like dashes and scrapes on some of these towards the top edges. Scribbles and scrapes. Odd little random leaf that's catching the light a little bit more. Lindsay, we'd be thirsty in this chat. Just gotta grab some sweet H2O. Get Milo to moderate my OnlyFans as well. By the way, just in case anybody ever tunes in at these points, like, and I say something like that, it's not legit. Like, put your wallets away. You know, it's just a joke. For now. For now. Cool. Let's also go ahead and on a separate layer add in what I kind of like to refer to as like the scratches, but the darkest one. So we just go straight in with black and add in like the darkest scrapes and scratches, etc. So it's going to be quite a lot of darkness at the underside of some of these holes here, holding up our jelly. Lovely stuff. Let's then also add in some black scrapes in the wood. This will look really nice. Can you, are we out of focus? Oh no, we're in focus. It's just the back of my hand. You can see those like scrape lines in the wood. They really help that texture like pull off. Let's then scratch some more into here. Still getting used to that camera, so trying to like I said, getting that lens only like a few hours ago. I've not really had time to play and mess around yet with settings, etc. Those doors are crap. I think I'll put like a color on them, I think of sort. So we used the wood really, when you look at it now, that wood texture, only for a brief period. Shall we turn on some windows in there? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's turn on some windows in there. I think it'll be this layer here. Let's see what colors we can get away with adding into that space and behind the windows. So when doing the windows here, you don't want to fill in the entire square. You want to kind of leave the edges a little bit around the frame. Yeah, okay. That's maybe not the right color choice, but this wasn't where I was intending on going, but I like the fact that you said about like a silhouette at the top window would look quite cool. This is very close to the cabin in the wood style tutorial. That'll do for now for the base coat. Also, we don't need to get lost in those details because when you zoom out, that's the size of the windows. Lindsay says, I love how Joel is taking it all seriously, drawing away. Meanwhile, we're here. Meanwhile, we are degenerates in chat. That's true. Lindsay says, if you got the time, Joel, I'm sure folk would have the money. Go relax. Come for the drawing, stay for the X-rated chatting. This is a bizarre place on the internet nowadays, isn't it? This particular chat. Now, I'm here just drawing a lovely little cabin in the woods, lake house, boat house. You guys are just ridiculous in the best way. Let's change this to add, maybe see if we can turn on some lights in these windows. Is that too bright? Let's maybe just do the top window for a second. If we make this really bright, I can get away with adding in that like silhouette of someone. And we will need to, oh, hang on. If we go to, is it this layer here? Inking, we just need to really brighten up the frame because now we've got all this lighting. Yeah, that's cool. I'll add a bit of a glow around it in a second. But if we then go to this layer here, I'm wondering if I can just do this. You guys would lose your mind if I just turned up next week and I just sat here with my knackers out and just be like, right, you ready to draw along? As if. Wouldn't be doing it for free. You're off your heads. What's up, Arturus? How you doing? I want my name green. Yeah, like that only one. You need to become a member on YouTube. To get your name green, yes, you have to be a member on YouTube. Absolutely. And then you get a little badge beside your name, Arturus, as well, so that you can. Your badge will grow the longer you are a member. So Troy says, I sometimes have a hard time with the amount of detail, as that is generally put my point of interest in the middle of the ground so that the detail tends to compete with the foreground. Let me reread that, sorry. Sometimes I have a hard time with the amount of detail, as that is generally put my point of interest in the middle of the ground, so the detail tends to compete with the foreground. Gotcha. But then it depends on what type of thing you're drawing. If I randomly decided now to put in a foreground right over here, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It struggles with the grey when the autofocus, when there's nothing to focus on. Oh, I know what we can focus on. That's better. Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever you want, but it's your main focal point, I guess. Yeah, it's all Troy's fault. What's up, Salib? Thank you for dropping in, hanging out for a brief sec. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Right, let's draw something really creepy up here. Like, I'm thinking like a caped figure of some sort with maybe like a hand on the window. Really basic stuff, because again, if you zoom all the way out, that's like the detail. So it doesn't really come off quite well. Let's delete that and do it again. I think unfortunately the fact that the frame is in place doesn't really aid me too well. We'd have to like haze that out a little bit. Okay, let's just scrap that idea for a second. Let's get back into the wood, I think it is. Troy says, I just always notice that I struggle as point of interest should take detail, but foreground should have most detail. Well, yes and no. It depends. Like, I would argue that if I put in a bit of, so this is where I was going with that earlier. If I put in a bit of land here, I don't think that should have precedent or have the same amount of detail. You could imagine that the person taking the photograph, if that's what it is we're trying to like perceive all of our work as, is like a photograph. Well, they're looking at this in a way that is like, maybe they're just using a camera with a really shallow depth of field, so it's only focusing on the midground and the background and the foreground is blurred out. That's why sometimes, such as, let me go into a different tutorial just to show you an example of that. 2 seconds. Bear with me. An example of that would have been the beach one that we did a while ago, where if I switch this around, these flowers here at the front are completely out of focus. And if you were to actually abide by that rule in terms of actually blurring them, likewise blur the background as well, then I think you can get away with it. By the way, this is a tutorial on Patreon if you want to go and check that out. What's nice is, again, now being able to see that the colours match. Like, these colours almost perfectly match to what it should look like, whereas last week we were absolutely like all over the place with the colors. So that's one beautiful thing about the new cam. I think there's other examples, is there not? By the way, I think tomorrow is tomorrow's throwback post on YouTube, on Instagram, is this one where we go ahead, and this is the real bird and this is the fake one, and we paint in the bird to go alongside that one. So we kind of clone it, but we paint it bit by bit. So if you liked the Robin tutorial, that you might like this one as well. That's just one to take a look at if you want to go and enjoy that one as well. Let's get back into this one here. The only thing I'm kind of thinking now is the fact that we we've got to maybe start to think about like reflecting some stuff. Yeah, that's going to look nice. No, let's just give it a perfect reflection, I think. Just under perfect. Where's all my water layers? Are they up here? Here? Yeah. What the heck? What if we just carried on with like the blurred out effect? So like just blur the trees. Maybe even motion blur them horizontally. Let's have a play with them. Maybe just lower the opacity down. Definitely brings that together. I can see you moving in the corner of my eye, so I'll be with you in just a second. Let's try and just get some of these reflections looking a little bit on point. Lovely stuff. Blur that out as well. We'll just lower the opacity down of it quite a bit. If anything, maybe move that up a smidge. We'll erase from that edge as well. That one back there definitely needs some blurring because it's not quite looking right how I want it to. But we'll see. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Take away some of that color. I don't think I like those shadows anymore that were on the water. Yeah, I think they're a little bit off. Let's delete them. We'll go again with them. Let's then streak into this reflection here. We've got to redo those shadows. Yeah, okay. What are you up to? What are you lot up to? Yeah, we could do the dry brush. I do like the dry brush. Ocean brush. Use the rain. Rain would be nice. You lot are always misbehaving. It's just something I've learned to put up with, you know. Kitten Alchemist, love the tutorials. Keep it up with the $159.99 Australian dollars. I don't know what that equates to in the old Great British pound, but it's definitely a lot. Kitten, that is unreal. Kitten, can we just all have a round of applause in the chat for Kitten? Kitten, that is extremely generous of you. You did not have to do that, but I appreciate the support. You guys are absolutely insane. Let's just, for research purposes, just check out what that actually is, just so I don't. Holy smokes. That's about 90 quid in the US. Holy kitten. I appreciate the support. That is, again, very, very, very generous of you. I will put it to good use, I promise. Maybe some accessories for the old camera. You guys are absolutely insane. Do you know that? All of you are. Absolutely insane. After last week, the whole donating towards the camera situation, you guys just blow my mind. And Kitten, I swear this is the first time we've seen you in the chat. Is that right? This brush is really giving me some trouble with those shadows. First time yet, Kitten. That's a hell of an entrance. What's up, Fatalani Snape? We'll go with Snape. I'm rolling with Snape, which I'm assuming is, of course, Potter related. Kitten, that is an incredible entrance. We do these every single week. Well, I say every single week. Sometimes I'm a bit naughty and have a week off, which I get a lot of slack for. But most Wednesdays you can find me on the channel. Troy with another 10 gifted membership. You guys are on fire. God, I could retire today. Please tell me one of those goes to Kitten. Did Kitten not get one in that? They're dealt randomly. I am not responsible for the allocation of the gifted subs by Troy. Just know that. I don't want you coming at me. You guys are being extremely generous. You need to stop. I'm just a dude making some videos on the old YouTube. It was Potter related, but it's mostly just my name now. Guys, be sure to thank Troy in the chat if you receive a gifted membership. The man looks after all of you. Make sure your names have got those beautiful little badges beside them. Week in, week out. I don't know whether Red Mystica's mugged me off there and gone, we're all hot for teacher, lol. And then just put Troy. And I don't know if you're like correcting yourself from teacher to Troy. Which, I mean, the dude is an absolute king. Yeah, that is true. With the cost of living crisis, they don't really go too far. I kind of need you guys to up it a little bit, all right? I'm talking like minimum $200 donations, you know, just something to get by. Do you know what I mean? I'm out here, you know, barely eating. I'm joking. But yeah, cost of living's crazy. It's crazy out here. Have you guys ever seen some of the craziest streams like on Twitch, like random highlights on Twitch and stuff of like some streamers like saying stuff like that, and it's like, she says something like, I haven't had a donation in over 5 minutes. Kitten, relax. Is that a mistake? Is that genuine? Kitten, follow that up, because I don't know if I got to smack the refund button on that one. Okay, I'm guessing it's legit. Kitten, holy shit. You are out of control. Hey, that is, let's be real for a second. That's a crazy amount of money. That's mental. I appreciate the support. You guys are out of control at the minute. Out of control. Oh, I tried with another 10 gifted memberships. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to ring my mum. I have to say, listen, I'm moving to Tahiti. I'm done. I'm done. That YouTube channel, bin it off. It's gone. You guys are at up. No, Jesus Christ. Sorry. I don't mean to swear a couple of times. Let's see if Kitten gets one this time. Snape got one. Everyone got one. Did Kitten get one? Oh no, Kitten didn't get one. Oh no, that's so bad. Again, I am not in control of how they are delegated. Kitten, just again, that is a massive amount of money. I appreciate the support. Crazy from you. Crazy. First time in, you go and start doing stuff like that. You're out of control, girl. I forgot what the hell I was doing. What am I doing? Where was I? You guys are fucking nuts. I'm gonna buy Mama a bungalow now. She needs it. She needs it. Oh yeah, damn. I mean, we're 100 and I mean we're over 300 Australian dollars in. I think the hoodie has to come off. At this rate, I'm gonna have to start dancing for money or something. It's just getting crazy. The demand's gonna be going up too high. I'll just start pouring this all over me or something. Get the baby oil. Let's go. Wait, can you not just like isolate a gifted membership? Can you not just like hand select a gifted membership? Oh, you can't. Okay. I thought you could. I thought you could just literally like grab someone and just give them an isolated membership. Let's go. Jay, how have you not been given one out of all of that? I don't know how it works. I don't know what the rules are. Like, how does it work? Like, I think it is based off of activity, but if that's the case, Jay, you're in here all the time. Oh, right. Should we try and get some like light streaks in the water? Keep getting new members too. I can only donate 10 randomly and hope I get Kitten. Dude, that's a risky game. Oh, Jay has it turned off. Got it. Twitch allows you to put, I guess. It's like YouTube. It's like, nah. Yeah, they're like catching up on the old stream content. Like compared to Twitch. I wouldn't move to Twitch though. People ask me this all the time. Why don't you just do it over there? Isn't that where everybody streams? I'm like, yeah, but I don't have any following on Twitch. Isn't like, why would I do that? Everybody who knows me through like the content that I make is here. So it makes no sense for me to ever go over there. And I can keep the videos on the channel. They sit here. I want to add like a nice glow to this window. Kitten, I'm absolutely blown away. Actually, that's just absolutely crazy. What a wild entrance. That's a name we won't forget in here now. Kitten, have you been doing the tutorials for a while, or I think we need like a little bit of a biography going on here, like a little bit of a who am I? Introduce yourself kind of vibe. Oh, by the way, the Trust the Process merch is in stores. Well, it's in stores, it's in my store. Go and check it out. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? Like that lighting is very light. So, could we do that with all the windows? Chat, let's just make a quick decision. All windows, singular window. Talk to me. For me, Twitch is just one more platform to keep track of. Exactly. And to be honest with you, I can't keep up with all the platforms I've got going on now, let alone adding another one to the requirements of keeping up with everything. With the second channel, this year has been crazy. I think in a coloured door on the front here would look quite nice. Yeah, the second channel has made life very, very hard. Like, I've got videos I want to make that I just haven't been able to get to because, like, each week is just packed full of content. One window. All right, cool. It does look nice. I think we could maybe add like a little bit of underlighting in there. It also feels like it adds to the mistiness a little bit. I don't know whether we also just go right to the top of the layers and add in some mist like right at the front and try to like get rid of like this area of like the decking and stuff. So like a little something like this. Let's just like mist up the whole bottom edge. Like it gets rid of a lot of the water details, so I don't know if it's like a good idea, but we kind of like vignette the design a little bit closer to the building. It kind of works and it doesn't work, so we need to work that out. Snape says, after first gifting there was a pop-up at the top of my chat to tell me to turn on allow gifts, and it linked to the settings pop-up. Oh, cool. Would the cloud brush work as rising mist from the water? It would. My only problem with the cloud brush is it's very heavily detailed in a way, and you don't really get too much control over where they go. You could use the rainforest brush, which is under organic, and we can maybe try that one. That one's a little bit less like a... This one's better for mist, really. Like you could do something like this, and like patch it in and patch it in and patch it in. And you could even add that like at the top in the trees. Like I'm just going to randomly scatter that in, but you could add that in back there to really create some heavy fog. And like, oh, do you know what? That actually looks sick. Let's undo that. Get rid of it at the bottom here. That line of fog that runs through that's actually so cool. How you let it run through the middle of the tree, leave the tops. Just looks like the fog is heavily sat in between the trees. I love that. Love that. Okay, we'll keep that layer in there because that looks very cool. Just looks really heavy, you know? I like that a lot. Where's that been placed? What layer is that on? Wait, what? Is that right at the top? Wow. Okay. Happy accidents. Happy accidents. Let's create another new layer for a sec. Let's just see what we can do maybe about like adding some around the water maybe. Or what music is playing right now? Oh God. I forgot that was playing. Oh, that's not good. gets annoying. I'll have to deal with that in the morning. Yeah, if I was to change the watercolor, I'm changing the watercolor because if I do that, I have the option to add the mist on top down here too. So by doing that, I now free myself up to go back to the mist color and add in some like huge bits of mist down here maybe, because you can't add like the same color obviously on top of itself to make the effect look okay, whereas this is just like what do you think? I like it and I don't like it. It adds to the effect, but I don't know whether it looks better like with just the misty color of the sky, because the sky would be reflecting into the water. I think I prefer that. Oh, that music scenario is so annoying. That means that in the morning, basically, I've got to just sit through like a copyright claim or something. I did not anticipate doing. Didn't set the album to just repeat on itself. Do you know what? I think let's not overdo it. Let's maybe leave it be a little bit and see what I think. It doesn't always get flagged. Majority of the time does. It depends on what music was playing. I didn't hear any lyrics as such, but it depends on if they were copyright free or not. So most of the time it just means that I'll have to like mute the video or something, like mute part of the video. It takes a little while to do. It's a busy day tomorrow. So I'm going to come back to this in a sec because I want to show you another design. I want to get your thoughts on it. The problem is the reason why I've not bothered probably trying to do anything with it is the fact that it is yet another cherry blossom. But this is what I ended up doing the other day. Let me just make sure my screen hasn't turned to night shift, which it hasn't yet. Let's go into live screen. So this one here, it's another cherry blossom, but this is what I'm talking about, is this like really loose painting style of like chucking color in, making sure it's like really scratchy and scrapey, and you know, you can see all the different colors in the grass, just chucking it in, the leaves at the top, they're just like big areas of color with just a few petals. And even like on the mountains, like the simplicity of that is just, that's all it needs to be. The sky as well is just like zigzags and swells and whatever. But it's yet another cherry blossom, which is the pain. Even like the details in the cherry blossom, you know, like in a tree, just simple scratchy details, you know. That's all it needs to be. I love it. I just don't want to do another cherry blossom tutorial. You lot will kill me. I'll be carrying on the loose painting one. Let's just remind ourselves of what we did the other week on stream, which was this one. So this is a similar style. It's kind of a style that I've slowly started to lean towards a little bit more, and it's this one, the cat and the mouse in the window. And again, like scratchy details in like the glass and stuff on the sides, scratchy details here in the leaves, in the wood. I mean, this window as well. This window is like beautiful. Just those really beautiful scratchy details in the brick as well. Like, yeah, that was the finished product on that one. By the way, merch is in the description. Check it out. Thank you, Snape. As a heads up, that one comes out next month on Patreon. As a wee cheeky heads up there, pal. I draw another one? This one, I don't like it, but I'll show you it because I want to show you like how you can keep rolling with the style. This one here, kind of the same thing where you like border in the design at the end, the scratchy details. The sails look far too like marshmallowy, a little bit puffy and stuff. They don't they don't look quite right to me, but the aesthetic is still there. That kind of like scratchy look to it with the painting style, with the Nico roll. It'll be something I'm going to carry on doing anyway. I really like it. I feel like it's a nice style that I've managed to create that I really like and enjoy doing. So it's something I think I'll crack on with a little bit more. And so it's just one around a sec. Oh yeah, let's get back into today. into today's work. There you go. Having left it and coming back to it, I'm happy. Only thing we need to do is add in a shadow on the water for the deck a bit better. What I could have done is actually, this is where I start to like run with the ideas a little bit too much, is where's that, if I add another new layer, why not, change it to like add or something. And we could like add that little bit of lighting there onto the ground. So like it's just, oh, that's a nice little touch. Just like shows how that lighting is then affecting the rest of the environment around it. Likewise, maybe inking dry brush, scratch that onto there, scratch that onto there. A few scrapes across here too. Yeah, that's cool. Nice little bit of lighting back there. Snails? I didn't see snails in there. Massive snails making their way across the ocean horizon line. Thank you, Milo. Happy accidents as always. This is the nice thing about doing it live sometimes, is just working out sort of things that just happen and trialing out lots of different things. It's cool to just do something where like we added the trees and stuff in the background and whatnot and just don't care because you just chuck in the mist on top anyway. So you don't have to fret about it too much. The dry brush looks good on the sort of floor there. Sorry, the water. The white of the sky is just reflected down there, so they are like the perfect highlights. I could probably add a few more highlights over here. I just don't really want to add in quite too much detail. When can you move in? That'd be a sick place to go. This would be a dream. Like just to chill there for a bit. Troy, you've been an absolute machine today with the gifted memberships. I would say enjoy your meeting, but that's a stupid thing to say. Have a wonderful day, my friend. I'll catch you again next week, hopefully. You've been an absolute king to the gifted memberships community. I appreciate your support as always, good sir. So that's it. That's it for today's live stream, I guess. I don't think I'm going to add anything else to it. I like it a lot. I think that this is a really cool idea to continue on with, like that cabin in the wood style story of sort. Just like, I don't tend to draw people too much. I don't tend to draw like, yeah, people quite so much. Mine are always like a scene, a landscape scene. So something like this would be awesome just to sort of take it out of the woods and put it into another spot. If you've not seen the cabin in the woods tutorial, I'll show you. It was one of my favorites and like a bit of a turning point this year over on Patreon, I would say, with the content. I allowed myself to create a really long tutorial and just crack on. This is the effect of it. This is the effect of it. This is the result of it, the cabin in the woods tutorial. So we spent a lot of time just sort of creating our little cabin, all the little stones underneath that it sits on, the beautiful grass work with a little stream down here and the lighting breaking through the trees. And you can get that if you're a patron already, you get access to the entire catalogue of the tutorial, so you can crack on with this right now. And then I took it a step, we adapted it and took it in another direction, and we created the winter variation. So this is the winter scene. Same thing, exactly this. So you need to, this is a part 2. You have to complete the first one in order to complete this one. So you do the first one, and then I'll show you how to adjust colors, and then we build on top of the adjusted colors. So we basically take the colors right down, we desaturate them quite a bit, make them nice and gray, and then we completely change the cabin and add in a boatload of different lighting, and the lighting's coming from different directions. Now there's not like a drop down light through the trees, the lighting is all coming from the windows, and that really warm cabin feel, and also adapting all the lighting on the wood as well. So lots of little sort of tweaks you can make, and adding the snow on, the steam and stuff from the top. Awesome. So I think that the one we did today, which if we switch it to that real quick, is kind of like a, I would say, a nice sort of follow on from it, really. It definitely follows suit, you know, but we've got a completely different environment. So you can kind of like draw the same thing multiple times, just lots of different variations on how the landscape can be. And obviously now we're not in a forest anymore. We are in a forest, but we're like on the edge of it with a completely different surrounding. We could do something totally different with this, where we make it like, we can make this like really sunny but autumnal. So all of those like trees are less like green, they're obviously more orange and yellowy and golden. They would look awesome. So that's something we could do. Oh, fresh trim today, by the way. That would be a vibe. Absolutely. So much you can do. I start to think sometimes whether or not people get bored of my tutorials, because I like to do a lot of landscapes, forests, but every time I draw one, you're learning to do different things, like the rad brush that I've started to use now. It's like lots and lots of things that we can do as you go and go and go to like build up your arsenal of tools that you can use to create your designs. And you'll have all these brushes, you know, you can go to and just grab and completely finish a whole design. Again, how many haircuts do you have? Well, I had to have a trim this week, and then I have to have one in a couple of weeks. So every 2 weeks at the minute, because like I've just, when you know you've got something on the horizon on your calendar, you have to look at it, don't you, and break it down and go, wow, I need to have a haircut here so that I can then have a haircut just before I go, or this, that, and the other. Keep them coming. Keep it coming. Absolutely. I would love to. Landscapes is what I need to work on the most. So I super appreciate those. If you're not already a supporter, you can wait. Did you become one at it? Someone did, didn't they? I've forgotten. Yes, you did. There you go. You've got all of those tutorials to be cracking on with now. Lots and lots of tutorials. So have some fun with that cabin in the woods tutorial. That's a good one. It's a longer one. But all of my tutorials have got long now. I've totally gone past, I say it every week, you're probably bored of it, but I go past that. I can't do the half an hours anymore. I can't get enough done. Oh, you joined a couple of days ago. It literally popped up just a second ago. Maybe it was oh no, 2 days ago. That came through earlier. How strange. Well, folks, you're at your 2 hour mark. You've had your 2 hours. We've got 3 more minutes. What do you want me to do for 3 minutes? Calm yourselves. Pause. We got normal stream duration. We are done. Well, this is pretty good for probably a 140 mark. I think it was by the time we got to this point in terms of what we added in there. Absolutely not. Lindsay, you need to relax, pal. Hey, no technical difficulties. Touch wood. I mean, this IKEA desk is not wood. There's not a little bit of wood in it, I don't think, but touch wood. All good. And I'm happy with this. The colours came across good and accurate. Everything is looking good. So I'll mess around with this a little bit more. It also didn't die, so I'll be interested to know how much battery that's got. Cool. Good stream, guys. Great work today, everyone. Kitten with a stupid amount of money, 320 Australian dollars. That is crazy. Crazy from the kitten. From the kitten. I'm going to say the kitten from now on. Because there's only one. And Troy with like 30, maybe 40 gifted members. Crazy stuff. Well, good stream today, guys. As always, please check out the merch. It'll be linked in the description down below. If you want to flex the merch for everybody else, there we go. There's the kitten. If you want to flex on everybody, if you get your merch soon, because I know some of you have got it, take a photo. I'll put it on my Instagram. You may even end up in the clothing highlight that's on my Instagram page. So, yeah, just keep it PG. You can come and hang out with me over on Discord. I'm always in there at the minute, just leaving it open and just making sure I'm always about. So if you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description down below. It's completely free. You can just come and hang out. Discord is my private community, basically, where you can come and hang out, share your designs, talk rubbish, share pictures of your pets, and yeah, just hang out. So let's have a massive thank you again to Kitten. That's a crazy amount of money, a wonderful gesture. Very kind of you. Awesome. And Troy as well for the 30-40 gifted. Guys, have a wonderful week. I'll see you again next week. I don't think there's any change. We'll be back next week. We'll go hang out for a bit and we'll draw some more. And be sure to keep an eye out for the tutorial on Friday. Nice, colourful, full of texture, full of different colours, nice and bright, nice and vivid. So have a wonderful week, everyone. I love you all very much, and I'll see you all next week.